Welcome to Positive Disintegration, a path to authenticity. Today we're doing something a little bit different. This is the first part of a two-part episode that Chris and I recorded when I went to visit in Wisconsin at the beginning of the year. So it's a little like a holiday special, I guess you could call it. It's the first time Chris and I had met since starting the podcast together, and it was a magical experience in the best possible way to be able to be in the same room and recording together. So it's kind of like a live episode, I guess. There's no agenda that we set down. We just wanted to get in a room and record some stuff. I'm not going to tell you what we talked about. We're going to leave it as a little holiday surprise, a present to you. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the conversation.
Here we are, sitting face to face in the same room. I'm touching you.
It's weird. Not that Chris is touching me in a weird way. Chris is touching me on the arm, and it's weird being in person. Let's just qualify that.
I'm sure that no one listening thought that I was doing anything inappropriate.
Yeah, but they would know that the first thing I would do is make an inappropriate joke. So,
That's true. That's true.
So how's it been having the weirdo Aussie in your presence for the past couple of days?
It's been amazing, and I have had to already stop myself more than once from the affliction of worrying that it's not going to be enough time, or that you're already leaving this week, or that, I've had to just be like, don't even think about the fact that it's going to come to an end. Just enjoy every moment and live in the now. And so I'm doing my best to do that. How has it been for you to be here?
Yeah, it's very surreal. Because it's normally me sitting on the other side of the world watching everybody else get together. It's like, oh, now I'm here and people want to see me. And it's a bit odd, but in a good way.
It's been very cold here. We're in Madison, Wisconsin, and it's fucking cold.
Yeah, if people have seen any pictures, they'll see me wrapped up in 1,000 layers, because it is.
We went to the zoo.
We did.
With your husband, James.
Yeah,
it's been amazing to get to see James, too. Obviously, I've heard a lot about James, and I've heard him, maybe briefly.
Yeah,
in the background.
On the phone,
yeah. It's been great to finally meet him and have conversations and just hang out and have meals together and stuff.
Yeah.
It has been surreal, but in the best way. And so, we went to the zoo.
And we got to meet Jason and
right,
Jack and the infamous Champ.
The infamous Champ, the dog, yes. And I love that he was barking, and so you recognized him immediately before we even entered.
Yeah. I'm like, that's got to be your place, because I can hear Champ.
That's right. Yeah. We went to visit Michael Piechowski.
We did. Yeah, that was really cool. And he was very nice host, and
he gave us tea and cookies.
He did give us tea and cookies.
Delicious cookies, too. And we'll be back to see more of Michael, because we're going to twist his arm and make him record with us. Well, we can't make him do anything, but
ask him nicely.
Ask him nicely.
Ask him nicely to record with us.
I've done my best to not push him and just let it happen.
If worst comes to worst, I'll give him the guilt trip of, but I came so far.
Yes. Well, yeah, you already played that card out of your deck.
But I did. I came so far. It's a long-ass flight.
You came so far. It's such a long flight.
I guess part of it is whoever you're sitting next to and the quality of movies and whether or not you can sleep. Sometimes long flights are bearable. Sometimes they're not. This one wasn't so bad. There wasn't as much turbulence as there has been other times, which is always good. And the guy sitting next to us was pretty much kept to himself and didn't get out much, which is nice. So hopefully we'll have the same good fortune on the way back.
Hopefully.
Probably too tired to give a shit, to be honest, on the way back.
Yeah, it's a very different vibe. On the way here, you have all this anticipation and even some nervousness, and on the way home, you just have being worn out, because it's a lot of effort to be on a trip like this.
It is. It's effort, not only to keep up with the weather, but the amount of steps. Being a sedentary desk jockey for most of my day, I don't get out that much. And like when you're out, sightseeing and stuff, you don't realize how many fucking steps you do. Jesus.
Mm. Yeah, so much peopling. You're having to socialize a lot too. I don't know. I mean, I know that you saw a friend when you were in Toronto, but maybe you didn't have to do quite as much socializing in New York and Montreal, but here you are. I mean, we're kind of nonstop socializing since you've been here, which is obviously a lot for me too, but I welcome it because I mean, we only have a limited amount of time together.
Yeah. It's different peopling when you're in places where you don't know anyone because you end up talking to randoms at bars and stuff. And
you do.
Yeah.
I don't talk to randoms at bars, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I don't talk to people.
It's sometimes unavoidable with the accent because people hear it and they get inquisitive about it and then they want to chat. And then you're in and that's it.
That's right. Then you have to be like, "G'day. Yes, I am from Australia."
No, the question's always, "Are you from England?" No. Sorry
to disappoint.
I don't know why.
It's nice to record in the same room.
It is. And not be hitting the mute button and...
Yes. I'm not wearing my headphones. Wow.
I can actually see your ears.
Yeah, we can see each other's ears. Wow. Because you wear yours too.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, wow.
And always seeing the same background.
Always seeing the same background? Yeah, we're actually at an Airbnb. It's an interesting, it's nice to have a strange living room to be in to do this. It works better than being at my place.
Yeah.
With animals and people to distract.
Although Champ would have been he's a regular anyway, so...
Yeah, it's true that Champ is basically a regular, although he doesn't always make it into the episodes. People don't realize, I don't think, that it's happening. But we know his bark, because Howl, he's a hound dog, it has a baying bark.
It's very distinctive.
It's very distinctive.
I don't know where you want to go now with this.
Where do I want to go? Well, I just keep thinking about something I said to Michael, I told you, I think last night, what he had said, is Emma very different from her Zoom presence? And I thought, what's different? And I thought, well, geez, we've recorded more than 70 episodes together before meeting in person. And I think that's really mind-blowing that we could do so much work together. It's a testament to technology just facilitating possibility that didn't exist when we were younger.
Organizing the Congress and
organizing the Congress. Shit. We've done so much together, and we've become such good friends without ever spending time in the same place before that. And it's and so when he asked, is Emma different? I thought to myself, well, I already felt like I knew you so well. And so no, it's not that you're different. It's just you're right here.
You're right here. It's like adding a third dimension to a two-dimensional picture. So in some way it is when you saw, I don't know, they must have done a Simpsons movie or an episode where they 3D rendered Homer the first time. And it's in some ways it does look and feel very different, but it's still essentially the same character. And I sort of feel like that. It's almost like we've gone from 2 dimensions to 3 dimensions.
Yes, we've gone to 3 dimensions.
It's a bit surreal, in a good way, but it's fundamentally not any different. I don't think in particular. Although like I said to you, I felt really awkward.
That's funny.
The first time. I don't know whether or not it's because I built it up. It'd been weeks and weeks of us counting down the days and whatever. And I don't know whether or not it's because I built it up or, I don't know, maybe I was just tired because it was a long travel day, that one. And then the next day I'm oh, no, it's not weird at all.
Well, it's so much anticipation.
I feel awkward.
Yeah, it's just, I do think that all those things you just mentioned were part of it. But yeah, it's been really amazing. I'm very happy to be here with you and to have this opportunity. Yeah, thank you for coming. It's a huge trip and an expensive trip, and I'm really grateful that you did it.
You're welcome. I don't know.
You're welcome.
But I don't want to make it sound like you're the only reason why I came here. I needed to go on a holiday. It was just kind of obvious that we would do something where we could see you.
Well, but that's so sweet. I'm in Madison. I appreciate it. this wasn't exactly, it's not like a place that you were going to come to. Like,
Oh, yeah.
it's not a highlight on the American,
Madison, the tourism hotspot.
yeah, it's not a tourism hotspot. Exactly. So I appreciate that you did it.
I'm going to be rude and have a quick burrito bite.
Go ahead, have a quick bite. We did have delicious burritos for brunch from our friend B, and we'll be recording with B. Well, maybe later today, maybe tomorrow. But yeah, and we'll be doing an episode together with B for Cosmic Cheer Squad, which is a new podcast that we're launching, that B and I will be launching soon. We've already recorded a couple episodes, and I look forward to, and we're going to be sharing it with our audience. So,
yep.
I guess maybe we could talk a little about the plan of the Positive Disintegration Network that we're unfolding in 2025. I created a media corporation called the Positive Disintegration Network, and it's meant to be the place. We're going to change the scope of the Dabrowski Center. It's going to remain a nonprofit organization. It's going to be the center for events. So the Dabrowski Congress will still be hosted by the center. It's still going to be the place that hosts the archive of digital and print materials. But the Positive Disintegration Network has a different focus and mission, and it's going to be basically us working as a team with other people, and just like all of us coming together with positive disintegration as like our framework that we use in our work, even though the way that we do our work is a little different.
We talked about this on phone calls before I came over here, but there's a lot of potential in allowing individual creators to use the framework in their own way, and seeing what new elements or new life that they can sort of breathe into it, or what new takes that they can sort of have on it. And I was actually thinking about this. This was one thing that I learnt from moving in Harry Potter academic circles. It's like, how many different takes, how many different academic essays or articles can you make from this book series? And it turns out quite a lot, because every time someone comes in, they've got, obviously the shit with She Who Must Not Be Named. That even gave a whole new scope of different lenses for which to view it through. But everybody brings their own expertise or their own background or their own thoughts and opinions to it, and they're viewing this thing through all these different lenses, which is really cool. And so they keep having these academic conferences year after year, and people still submitting all new and fresh ideas and papers off the one set of books. So it stands to reason that with something like Positive Disintegration, where you've obviously got a great body of work from Dabrowski, but you've also got people living it and bringing their own experiences. And then they also bring their own strengths and their own creative lenses. So it's going to be really cool to see what new and exciting things come out of that mix.
Agreed. I know. I can't wait to see what happens. It's very exciting. And actually, right now, we have our friend Pam is actually in the room and is going to be helping us design a logo for the network.
Say hi, Pam.
Hi, Pam. These guys are every bit as gorgeous as you can imagine right now.
But yeah, thank you. You're part of this too. Like I don't know, I've been thinking a lot about how I've made some friends over the years in the gifted community who I'm just so happy now to like have something that I can bring us all together around and say, okay, this is what we're doing. We all have these talents that we bring to this, and how can we like harness like the beauty of positive disintegration and what we've been through in our lives, what we've seen unfold already. Like, how can we like bring this to the world and help other people change their lives? And I can't wait to see what you have for us when it comes to the art around this. But yeah, we're excited and we're happy that you're here with us.
Thank you.
So we've taken a chance to meet, to scheme.
Yes, to scheme in the best way. Positive scheming.
Yeah, scheming is always easier in person, I think.
It definitely is easier in person. And oh my gosh, doing graphic design, thinking about like what to describe, making changes, so hard for me to do it virtually and to like try to find words for when I'm thinking about images. I really struggle with that. I'm like, well, I feel this about it. Can't you work with that? But yeah, I'm excited for 2025. I feel so positive right now, and like there's so much momentum in our work and forward movement and progress already. And I just know that the sky's the limit for what we can do. And I wonder if part of me wonders if I should even say that one factor in kind of moving toward the Positive Disintegration Network is that I think it's important for me personally, to move away so much from working with using Dabrowski's name when I'm talking about my take on positive disintegration, because my work in the Positive Disintegration Network is this podcast, it's Cosmic Cheer Squad. I'm also going to be working on a podcast with Marty Camersell on PDA, which is Pathological Demand Avoidance. The name of that podcast is going to be PDA Resistance and Resilience. And so I have a lot more podcasting work ahead of me in 2025. And I feel so excited about it and eager. Like, this is where I want to go right now. This is what I want to like throw all of my energy and effort into. I never saw that happening, but it's the Dabrowski Center using his name in the name of the organization really constricted me in some ways, because there is a lot of baggage with the history of the Dabrowski community. We kind of touched on it in the second episode with Linda Silverman, where we talked about the struggles with some of the people and in the community over time and the personality conflicts. And so I felt like a real need to do something different. I'm thinking also about what we have kind of planned for this podcast for 2025. We have some guests lined up. It's going to be another good year, I'm sure, just based on what we have ahead and what we have that we've already recorded, even that we haven't shared yet.
The episodes that we've got coming out for this month, which I prepped before I went away so we could release it. It wasn't reliant on me getting back home to release, but like it's the first time we've ever talked about suicide on the podcast concretely.
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up doing a 2-part episode of that, and it was really important.
Mm-hmm.
I think we needed to be in a place where we were ready to discuss it.
And we needed the right person to have the conversation with.
Yeah, we need the right person to have the conversation with, but we're now in a place where we can start tackling some of the stickier topics a bit more in depth.
I think so.
And I think maybe those conversations need to happen.
Yeah, I agree. And I honestly believe that this year we need to do more recording, just us too, because we have so much to say about our own experiences of development through positive disintegration. And we have our own perspectives that are worth talking about and our own stories. And part of why we decided to do Cosmic Cheer Squad, I had so many conversations with B about like wanting to share more about my experiences of positive disintegration, but like we usually have guests on positive disintegration. And so I hate to be always bringing in my own stories and my own issues. And I know I do that quite a bit, but I think there's a place for that. And of course, doing it in Cosmic Cheer Squad is going to look a little different than when we do it on our podcast, where we are pretty linear and focused usually to some extent. Even though we let the conversation go where it goes, there's a place for a lot more stories about positive disintegration, and we have them. And I think also doing like the Dabrowski 101 course, which is wrapping up this month, has led me to have a lot more thoughts about what I put together for those cohorts and the modules. And it just has given me a lot more material to work with for this too.
testing and learning to like what works, what doesn't work, formats, like how much load we can handle at any given time. So yeah, we learn from these things, and then I guess it's like anything else that we've spoken about on the podcast. As long as you're willing to embrace growth mindset, the reason why you do change is because if you're stagnant, you either think you've got it perfect or you're admitting defeat. But change, I guess, is a sign that you're willing to learn from what's happened and make adjustments and pivot and do what's necessary. So
Yeah. Yeah.
some people like things to be the same, and don't particularly like change, but I guess it depends on how you view change. Is it, something that's going to bring improvement, or are we just worried about the fact that it's different?
Yeah, agreed. Change, it's like the only constant in life is that things are going to change. And the more that you resist it and don't accept reality, the more you're going to suffer. At least that's my experience. So I've learned a lot over the past year. 2024 had some really difficult moments for me, and they were mostly due to interpersonal conflicts that I was having. And I learned a lot in multiple ways. It was more than one person even, or more than one issue. And I have a lot of, I guess, thoughts and feelings I'm still processing around that. But one thing that I feel sure of is I always do my best. It's not always enough, but I always do. I try to do the right thing. I don't always execute it in the way that I wish I could, and I don't always succeed in like producing the outcome that I hope is going to happen. And like, I'm not always, sometimes I let people down. I guess that's what I'm trying to say is like, I recognize that even though I try to do my best, sometimes I let other people down. Sometimes I let myself down. And so one of the things I talked with my course cohorts about is that like the intention I've set for myself for this year in 2025 personally is to work on forgiveness, to work on self-forgiveness and forgiving myself for errors that I have made and, harm that I have caused people and mistakes, to not dwell on them. I mean, there's no point in that. Like, all we can do is move forward now and learn from what has happened, but also to forgive the people who I have felt harmed by, which it has happened. Like, I can't keep holding grudges and resentments about people, against people. And so these are like kind of the things that are on my mind right now as the year is starting. And I wonder if you have given any thought to like intentions for this year or things that you want to work on.
Yeah, I have thought about things that I want to do for this year, and we spoke a little bit about it, so hopefully no surprises, not dropping any bombshells. But I think like this last year with the Nebraska Congress and stuff that was going on for me personally, and it being, I will tell listeners, I have not gone overseas in this decade, right? So it's been like since before COVID, since I've actually been on what I would consider a proper holiday. It's been a good minute, right? And so I was starting to get to that point of burnout where I was just, gosh, shit. And so the last year was like very tough, and it felt like I was continually at the end of my rope, to the point where I had to like park a few things because I wasn't dealing so well with it. And now I've had this opportunity to get away from stuff. I had a good end of year review with my work, so I felt really appreciated, which was good. It's always, I don't know, it's kind of like lifting a mental load off to know that what you are doing is actually being noticed and recognized and appreciated. And so the one thing over the past year that I'd felt was that, I guess with my lack of hours in the day and the time zone differences, there's only so much that I can contribute, right? So I think the two things are, like, it's a good opportunity for you to work with other people. Like, you know, you've got 2 other podcasts now to work on, and I don't feel so much like I'm holding you back in that regard. I can help where I can. And you and I have been working on, like, talking about, like, okay, where can I contribute meaningfully, like, that's in my wheelhouse that'll make a difference. It's like, what help can I bring? But also, like, for me, getting back, I think, to what I'd call the basics almost a little bit, and leaning into that, like the new starter, laying out a welcome mat space, you know, with Tragic Gift and with the YouTube channel, Adults with Excitabilities, because I really enjoy playing in that new starter space. Like, I know you, we've spoken about this, you really enjoy getting into the weeds of stuff, and I think the course was a really good thing for you to start getting into with the cohort, because that really sort of feeds your passion. And I think for me, like, exposing people to the new idea at the very ground level, like the entry point, for me, that sort of sparks my passion. So I think that's what I'm looking forward to, is like having other people to work with on stuff and being able to sort of share some of the load around, and also the opportunity to be more in the passion zone and the wheelhouse. So it's not just like you and me trying to do everything and fight the world kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah, I love that. I think you're so much better than I am too at the introductory stuff. Like, you're really good at taking complex ideas and translating them into something simpler that people can wrap their heads around. That is not my area of expertise. And it's not that, but I feel bad. Like, it's not that you were like holding me back. It's just that you work full time. Like, you have a very finite amount of time for the work that we do together, which is okay. Like, that's just the way it is right now.
But remember, I said I felt like I was holding you back. That was part of me feeling the exhaustion, because I started to feel like I was slowing down. So I felt like I was starting to become an anchor and dragging the chain. And like, we've always had this situation where I've had so many hours in the day, but it was just the last year that was a sign of my increasing exhaustion, was that I felt like I was slowing down and like, I can't keep up anymore.
Right.
Like, you know, my plate's too full. I've got to get rid of stuff off it. And, you know, even me having to say, I've got to put social media down for a while. Like,
Right.
because, you know, the more exhausted you get, the less you feel like you can cope with. That, to me, I guess, if I did feel like my plate was getting a little bit full, at least I'd have that reassurance that, you know, there's more of a support network around, I guess, if that makes sense.
It does. It's been such a journey. I've really, like, I always kind of at the end of the year do a lot of reflecting on how not only how things have gone like over the past year, but because of how close I am to my journals and my words, like the difference between the last couple years, few years, like 5 years, 10 years. And yeah, I've just thought so much knowing that you were coming here about the time when we have worked on the podcast, because, you know, just in this like just over 3-year period, I just can't believe how much my life has changed. And it never fails to boggle my mind that we started a podcast together with, like, we didn't even hardly know it. We didn't even know each other.
And now I'm coming to visit.
And now you're coming to visit. And wow, it's really mind blowing to me. It's been an interesting time. So much has changed.
Yeah.
For the better, though. Even my life, like, even being here in Madison, selling our house, like, and like learning a new place. Like, we're not from here, you know, and so like culturally it's different in a way that I'm not used to, you know, or having to learn how to get around a new city, to find new places, find new like doctors and all of that. And it's been nice though. Like, I don't know, like, I feel so free now compared to any other time in my life from my past and like all that baggage. And I truly feel now like I really am on the right path. And like, I was telling B this morning, because like I'm really staying here with B, and so we were just alone this morning chatting when we got up. And, you know, I was just saying how, like, I mean, I was telling her like a story about Paul because, you know, we've been talking about like the Herman value profile again. And one of the things on my Herman value profile results this time is that I'm really undervaluing following my dream. Or I don't know if I got that quite right, but the thing that I'm undervaluing the most right now is like following the dream. And so I said to B, like, I feel like part of the problem is that because I've been operating in this way where I'm constantly laying the path or cutting the path or however you want to put it, there's no path for me to see ahead of me. It's only like the vision I have. And so part of the problem for me personally was that the vision was clouded because I was so worried about money, right? Like I was so worried about our own personal finances. Like we had a lot of debt and like we needed to sell our house in order to resolve that and like just start fresh. We really needed a fresh start. And so now we have that fresh start. But like I'm still in a place where I'm like, okay, well, cool. I have the fresh start and I'm not feeling burdened so much by the things that had been burdening me. Well, but I'm still having to cut my own path. Like the fucking path still isn't like clearly there for me. I have to create it. And what's exciting to me like today and now is that it doesn't feel like a burden that the path isn't there. I don't feel at all troubled by it. I'm just like, cool. I just got to keep putting it down like one step in front of me at a time and it is going to unfold the way it's meant to unfold. And sometimes it's going to like maybe weave in areas where I'm like, oh shit, I better go back that way or whatever, but it's okay. Like it's part of what was hard about getting to this point was like embracing the fact that I'm creating my own path. It's not there for me. No one is going to hire me to do like the job that I do, but it's okay. I like once you like let go of that and you stop looking for the right place or the right people to validate you or provide the path, well, then you can do it. I think that you can like settle in and understand that this is your work. And the most important thing is to find the right team of people to have around you. That is the key for me. And that's what I was saying to B. I said, you know, now we have this network. We are working together. It is not even just me and you, because for a long time it was like me and you against the world. Not against, but like that's not the right way to put it. It was
No,
me
it
and
is because
you.
I said exactly the same thing about
Yeah,
15 minutes ago.
It was. You're right. I guess so. It was me and you against the world.
That's how it kind of felt.
That's how it felt. Like it was us and we had some friends, but like we just weren't in the right place. But now we have the people and we have the support. We have everything we need. We have everything we need and we're doing it. And so I can't articulate enough like how special that is finally to be there.
So we had this like little startup thing and we were doing everything, you know, doing all the bookkeeping, doing all the stuff and working out a little hole in the wall and it was a bit cramped and uncomfortable. But now, yeah, taking on, as you said, support gives us a bit of breathing room. And I get what you mean about the moving thing because I did that a couple of years ago. But, you know, once you get that space and you can sort of settle into it, I mean, it doesn't mean things won't get tough again because just last year it was, yeah, you know, I was like, oh, I'm loving my life and I'm out of Sydney and then like tough year. You know, I think the more things that you can put in place to support you and make life easier when the tough times do come, it's a little less stickier to navigate.
I think so. Another thing that I've realized just personally that I am happy about in my work right now is that also came from the course actually, is just that I have such a solid foundation with the theory and my like I see so clearly that all of the work that I did after learning about it, studying it, I mean, just I studied it in such depth for so long and with Michael, and I was writing to him every day. Like, so another thing at the beginning of the year that I always do is like tally up my stats for the previous year when it comes to my writing, not only in my journals, but my emails with Michael. So I save every email between me and Michael in this software program called QDA Miner. Don't bother Googling it, listener, unless you are willing to spend way too much money on qualitative software that you're not really going to use. But if you want the very specific thing of like saving and coding emails between you and someone else, it's an essential tool, in my opinion. So when I first started writing with Michael and corresponding via email, like for the first few months, we only wrote a couple times. I was working on a paper and I was so nervous about him, so intimidated by him, honestly. And like, we didn't write much. But then it was the 2016 Dabrowski Congress. It was like my mind was exploding with thoughts. I'm there in sessions and I just, in every spare moment, I was like writing to him, my thoughts about the sessions, my thoughts about the theory in the future and everything, like totally overwhelming him. And at that point, when I started overwhelming him, it did not stop for a long time. I kept overwhelming. I was writing to this poor man every day and like 10,000 words a month, sometimes more than that, sometimes 20,000 words a month, sometimes 6 emails a day. Like I was overwhelming him with information. And again, listener, like, please do not write to me fucking 6 times a day or send me 10,000 words a month. Like he is some kind of saint for tolerating that kind of behavior from me. And yet, I think that he did tolerate it because he was like, wow, here's somebody who's actually reading everything and reading my work and thinking about it and trying to move the conversation forward. And so he was like, okay, I'm going to trust that it's going to work out. I mean, I don't think he really was. Like, I don't think he really did think that things were going to work out or that I was getting it. He was like, whoa. Was more patient and gracious. Like he has modeled like a level of patience and graciousness with me that I can only hope to do for other people someday. Like I am no Michael when it comes to being kind and gracious. Like, and one of the things I realized is that he has never once in the whole time I've known him made me feel like I was too much. Like I had to stop. He never shut me down and said, stop. Like what he did instead was have good boundaries and take his time with my emails and not respond to them until he was ready to respond to them. And so in those first months when I was writing to him, he might let like 5 or 6 emails collect or more. He might wait like 6 days before he finally just like went through and hit on the points that he felt like hitting on. But eventually I came here because my husband asked me over the past week, like, well, when did you come and visit Michael for the first time in Madison? And so I said, well, Michael wrote to me for the first time on March 29th, 2016. And I was in Madison on March 29th, 2017, visiting him in person for the first time because, I mean, I knew by like August that I needed to come here, but he finally relented by that point in winter 2017 and let me come. And it was that visit together when he never again, like things changed after that. And like he was much more responsive with my messages in a way that started to feel more like we were friends than I was like bothering this man that I had never even met yet with so much. But yeah, like, so all of that work, getting to know Michael, studying the theory, it gave me the foundation I have right now for what I do. And it feels really good to know that. And yet, one thing that really, really gets to me is that I see how many people want to claim expertise or say things about this theory or use it in ways like without knowing what they're talking about. It gets to me.
Every time you say that, I shit myself because I want to put myself in that category.
Which is hilarious to me because would I even fucking say that to you if like you were one of the people I was talking about? Would I do a podcast with someone who I felt that way about? Come on.
Yeah, I always lump myself in that category.
It's because you don't have the in the weeds knowledge that I do about the theory where I can like point to what was said where and shit. But I don't think like you shouldn't let that get into your head. Not everybody needs to have that information. We don't all have to come from the same area. Like, we don't have to all come from the same places of expertise. Like, before you guys were talking about that book that you read where, like, different experts like went around a block or something, right? And like they talked about their own
Yeah.
like perspectives on
own
it
stuff.
and from their place of expertise. And so I think part of what works with us is that like when we started this podcast, I was like laying the groundwork of having like the technical expertise and like kind of scholarly understanding. But you come from it from the place of lived experience and though your own like giftedness. Like you can't deny that part of what it is that like makes this work is that you have like a brilliant mind, Emma. I mean, I say as somebody who like works closely with you, oh, look at you. Now you can, yes, hide in your shirt, hide in your Slipknot shirt.
Yes, I just had to hide my Slipknot shirt.
But you have a brilliant mind. And part of what people want from you in this podcast, I think over time, is to maybe see you accept that about yourself and step into your power.
I feel like He-Man right now. Em's laughing over there. No, I don't know. It's a weird thing. Like, this happened to me with my work as well. Like, it took me a while to figure out that I knew enough. Like, I would have moved on in my role if I thought I'd exhausted all the growth it could offer me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing happened when I was working in the insurance industry as well. I just got to a point like where I felt like I didn't know anything, and then I hit a point, looked behind, and went, "Oh shit! People are asking me questions now, and I guess I do know something." And like all of a sudden, I felt like, "Oh, okay, now I'm the person that everyone like." I don't think I have any concept of when I know enough because I'm always conscious of how much there is in the world to know about things. And if you hear other people's opinions and perspectives and advice on stuff and you actually appreciate hearing that, you start to understand that there is far more knowledge in everybody else's head that there's ever going to be in your own. And I guess that's the way I like to look at the world because it keeps me like interested and curious and always learning. And that's a good thing in some ways. But one day I'll turn around and go,
it's a good thing.
Oh, I guess I do know something about this theory. It'll happen on its own organically. I've learnt that about myself over years of switching careers and stuff. It'll just happen one day and then like you'll go, oh, I guess I am the resident guru on this subject matter.
Yeah. You
I'll
really
get
are.
there.
Well, and you've written a book. Part of
have.
what's coming in 2025 is the book you've been working on.
I know. Yeah, a few delays in the editing process and that, but probably the universe working in my favor in that regard, I think.
I think so too.
Because then you learn things in the interim and go, oh, actually, let's shuffle a few things around. But yeah, I think that I almost feel like that's going to sort of close a chapter on my understanding stage and then I'll end up going on to a new thing. But that's good. Like, I don't think I'd be as interested in this theory if it was pretty much like you could read it in 5 minutes and it was done, you know? Don't know if it hold my attention for that long.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'm aware it's like a wealth of knowledge and that's part of the appeal. And I'm like, I'm not in a super duper hurry to like get mastery. I'm not sweating on it. Let's put it that way. I just am aware that I'm not near the level of expertise that I could be.
There's no rush.
That's fine. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
I'm aware if you thought I was a dickhead, you wouldn't do a podcast with me, so that's fine.
You're not.
And when I said, yeah, I know I'm not. I said, if you thought I was, and also too, it would have been like, oh, don't come and visit. I'm going to be away. You're very piss off. So the fact that you've welcomed me with open arms is.
I've welcomed you. I'm so happy that you're here still. I can't believe that we're sitting here doing this still. I mean, like, it's we're like 49 minutes into this. And I'm still like, we're sitting here doing this. Like, it's making me happy because I realize that, like, because we mute ourselves, you often don't get to hear like the reaction that we're having to each other, because often like I'm muted, but I'm making some noise or I'm laughing or, I'm
Yeah.
like affirming what the person's saying, but you're not hearing it because I'm muted. And I think that's right. Like, I'm glad that we do the podcast that way because like when you're recording that way, it can sound choppy because it's on Squadcast or Zoom. Like it messes up the
Yeah, it
recording
does.
when you are reacting. And so it's best to mute yourself. But this is
And
the
also,
ideal.
and also too, where you don't have the video on, like you can't.
Right. So you're
Can't
not
say
getting
it.
cues. And so this is like the best way. I'm like, I just feel so good about doing this with you right now. It's so natural compared to, even though we've gotten used to working with each other, like this is the best way to do it.
At least too, now my listening face, which looks like a bit like a bored face, but it kind of isn't.
Sometimes you do look bored when we're recording with guests, and I know you well enough, but I think, oh my God, like,
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Emma has like a face where you're like, I hope that she's
paying
just listening
attention.
intently and not being like, this is garbage.
Yeah, and then I turn around and go, wait, you're making my head blow up or something. And then they know I've been listening the whole time. I just like, if my face goes poker, it means that I'm absorbed in something. So, yeah.
Yeah. And you'll have like your finger on
Yeah.
your face like this.
I know. This is why I hate having the fucking video on, because then they can all see me looking like that. And I'm like, fuck, they're going to think I'm bored. And I'm not. It's just my thinking face, I swear.
It's just my thinking face. But you haven't even said that while we've been recording with people, so that's good. But there absolutely have been times when I've thought to myself, I wish I could tell this person right now that this is just what she does.
Yeah. And they don't realize until I like shut up in excitement and go, ooh, I have a question.
That's right. Or you like brilliantly summarize and synthesize everything that they've been saying.
Continue your path to authenticity through the links in the show notes. Subscribe to our Substack newsletter for stacks of cool things delivered straight to your inbox. Explore the Dabrowski Centre, email us, or join us on social media. And don't forget to show your love by liking, subscribing, grabbing some Positive Disintegration merch, or leaving us a rating or review on your podcast platform.